Hey guys, it's Saria. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is another ear tutorial. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video, and I cannot wait to show you how I made this super cute light up pair of Nightmare Before Christmas inspired Mickey ears. So let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial. Starting out with supplies, I picked up these clear ornaments on Amazon. I do have a giant pack of them just because I use them in a lot of different crafts. And then I also picked up these Nightmare Before Christmas buttons. These are from Walmart, but I do want to give you guys a suggestion, which is using Disney Doorables. I actually have a tutorial coming out where I use Disney Doorables and did a very similar tutorial to this. So whatever you have on hand. I wanted these to have a frosted look so that it looked like they were kind of snowy on the inside, but I also wanted to be able to obviously see through them so that you can see the characters that we're going to place on the inside of these, kind of like a snow globe. So I'm using just some masking tape to cover up the center of the globe. This is going to be the front portion of the ears. So the reason you're using the tape is because you want to be able to see Jack and Sally and Zero on the inside of the ear. If you just spray paint the whole thing, obviously you won't be able to see through them. I don't have any specifications on how to tape this out. I kind of liked that it was random and that they didn't need to be perfectly symmetrical. I just kind of taped it out how I liked that it looked. And then I went ahead and took them outside to spray paint them. The back portions of the ornament, you can just go ahead and spray paint. You don't need to do anything special with them. But this is what it looked like after I pulled off the tape. So as you can see, the two back pieces are totally white, and then the front portions have a nice see-through quality. I purposely didn't do a great job spray painting because I like the little speckles and stuff that were created by it. I know it's a little bit hard to see on camera because the ornament reflects the light, but I like that it looked snowy. So the next thing you're going to need is some sort of heating knife, like a hot knife. So mine is actually a wood burning tool that comes with a interchangeable blade. And that is how we're going to be cutting off the bottom portion of this ornament. So using my ear templates that I have linked down below, I'm just getting the right curvature on the bottom of the ornament so that I know how to cut it. So I just kind of made like a little dashed line for myself so that I have something to go by. And then using the hot knife, I'm just very carefully and kind of slowly going to cut through the plastic. So how this works is it is literally melting the plastic as you push the knife through it. So you don't need to rush, and make sure that you're not pushing too hard, because then by the time you get to the end of it, your knife is going to just fly in front of you. So make sure that you're being safe and careful and really taking your time. And I would also maybe do a little bit of a practice before using it for the first time. So now that I have the bottom portion cut off, it's going to look something like that. And then I'm going to continue cutting the other ornaments. I did check it with my headband just to make sure that the curvature was, right. And I'm going to go ahead and close it up so that I can use the one that I've already cut as a marker. So I want to make sure that the opening lines up on each side. So I just kind of did the start point and the end point of the cut. And then using the template again, I'm going to make a little dashed line. And then I'll go back in with my hot knife and cut the bottom portion of this one as well. I did want to show you guys, the blade was smoking a little bit, and it had a little bit of gooey plastic on it. So I just cleaned it off while it was hot very carefully. But again, don't burn yourself, don't cut yourself. So the next thing is creating kind of a snowy mound for the characters to stand on top of, and that's going to be using felt. So I just cut a random large oval of felt, and I'm just kind of playing around with it. I did hot glue it to the back portion of the ornament, and I wanted this to stick up inside the ear like that, like a snowy hill. And the other thing that this is going to do is that the felt is going to make it to where we can hot glue the ear onto the headband. So you do need to do this step because this is what's going to secure it. After getting the mound basically how I wanted it, then I went in with Jack and Sally, the buttons, and just added some hot glue onto their feet and just glued them down onto the felt. Sally was having a little bit of trouble staying up, so I did hot glue her hand to Jack's hand, and I also just thought it was really cute because now it looks like they're holding hands. After allowing that glue to dry, I made sure that they were able to kind of stand on their own, and then I'm just going to close this up and finish gluing on the felt to the bottom of the ornament. I'm doing a thin line of hot glue and then tapping down the felt into the hot glue. Obviously, we're going to trim off the excess felt, but I wanted to leave myself extra so that I knew that I had enough to glue around the ornament, and then I can just trim it up. Now, you can't see them super great, right? Well, actually, you can see them, but at night, you wouldn't be able to see them. So in true Dream It DIY fashion, I will be adding lights. So I have a strand of battery operated LED lights. I do have these linked in my Amazon storefront for you guys using the link down below. I bundled half of the lights together, and I am putting them underneath the snow mound, and then with the excess felt I'm going to glue that all around the lights. So this is going to create kind of like a little pocket for the lights. So just fold over your fabric and tack it down using hot glue to create almost like an envelope for all of the little light bulbs. After I'd glued around 3 of the edges, I really didn't need this 4th edge to be glued down, so I did go in with scissors and just trimmed off the excess. And this is what it looks like all lit up. I did use the cool white lights instead of warm white lights because I thought it gave it more of a Nightmare Before Christmas type of vibe. I feel like the warm white lights wouldn't have been the right feeling or tone, if you will. So on the other side, I'm going to be using the 0 button, and to do that, I wanted to make sure that it looked like he was floating as best I could. So the best way I could think to do this was by taking a little piece of felt and rolling it into almost like a sushi roll. That's it's very tiny, and I definitely burned myself, so be careful. You could also maybe use some jewelry wire, but at the time this made the most sense to me because I knew that the white would blend in with the white background, and then it would hopefully make it look like he was just floating around in there. So I rolled up this little, roll of felt, like a little sleeping bag, and then I'm gluing that down onto the snow mound. And the snow mound is exactly what we just did with the Jack and Sally side. It's just this time we're adding like this little sleeping bag so that 0 can be glued onto that and look like he's flying. After the glue dried on 0, then I'm going to go in and close up the bottom of the ornament with the felt just like we did on the other side, and then I will repeat all the same steps. So adding the bundle of lights under the snow mound. I am gluing shut this ornament because it didn't stay stuck together quite as well as the other side did. So I just added a little bit of hot glue and then snapped it shut. I did get glue on the outside of the ornament, so you can see me wiping it off there. And that's what 0 looks like before the lights. If you noticed, I put 0 off to the side, like more toward the left of the ornament, and I put Jack and Sally more toward the right of the ornament because I wasn't sure if I was going to do a bow or something else. I do end up doing something else, but I wanted to make sure I had space and that they wouldn't get covered. So I am hot gluing down the lights on 0's side. I didn't make the mound stick up quite as much, so there wasn't as much of an envelope to shove them into. And now I'm going to hot glue down the edges of the felt in order to create that little pocket for the lights again. Now before you make these, I do want to point out you need a little bit of the wire between the 2 ears to be extended. So if you can see there, now that they're on the headband, there's a wire between the 2 ears because obviously if you just use all of the lights, you're not going to have enough space to actually glue the ears apart. They're going to be touching on the headband. So make sure that you leave yourself a gap. I believe on my light strand it was 9 lights on one side, 2 lights in the middle, and then 9 lights on the other side. And then I am hot gluing the ears down just like you normally would onto the headband. I did use my ear spacing template just to make sure I'm getting the right spacing, and just really holding down the ear onto the headband until the glue is fully set and dry. You can usually tell because on the back of the headband you can feel if it's still hot or if it's cooled off. I am going to go in and just reinforce anywhere that I think needs a little bit more glue, because I was sending these to somebody and I wanted to make sure that they could make it in transit. So the next step is going to be gluing down the actual light switch pack. So as you can see here, I still have that little pack hanging off of the back of the ears. So I'm going to coil up the wires and the light switch pack, and the light switch pack needs to be facing screws up. So how I'm gluing it down right now is on top of the wire that's left over, and then I'm literally just gluing it down with hot glue. But if the screws are facing upward, then if your batteries die, you will be able to access the battery pack and replace them. So I did play with a couple different ideas of like how to cover this. I thought maybe these little pipe cleaners that look like a Christmas tree would be cute, but then I found these little white snowflakes that I had on hand, and I really did like them. I thought they added to like the snowy atmosphere of the ears, if you will. So these are actually stickers from the Dollar Tree in the Christmas section, but I'm going to be gluing them because obviously I'm not going to trust the little sticker adhesive on the back. So I added some hot glue, and then I'm going to start on one side and just kind of create a little snowflake crown. I will tell you guys, some of the little jewel snowflakes that were on top of the felt portion of them were not centered, so I did take the time to like rip them off and re-glue them on, because again, I was sending these to somebody and I wanted them to look really nice. I did also glue snowflakes on the back because I wanted to make sure to conceal the battery pack, just so that both sides look nice and finished. I did also want to show you guys another detail that I added, which is adding this little pom-pom trim on the bottom. The biggest reason I did this, honestly, was I liked the black being added in for Nightmare Before Christmas because it provides kind of a nice contrast. Also, the felt portion on the bottom of the ornament is not the prettiest thing, and I did want to clean that up. And if you're having trouble with like your ears feeling wobbly on the headband, this will provide some further reinforcement. So 3 major pluses to adding these on. But I just cut a portion of the pom-pom trim and I am gluing it on to the bottom around the ear. And that is the final step in making these light up snow globe Nightmare Before Christmas inspired ears. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you do have any questions for me, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. And if you don't have any questions and you don't know what to leave in the comments for me, then please leave me a snowflake emoji so that I know you watched this video all the way through. Bye guys, I'll see you in my next one.